What is happening, people? It is Brian Alsruhe with NEVERsate.com, and today we're going to talk a little bit about diet. Now, if you guys did not know, for the last 6 months, I went through a lot of problems. In the last 6 months, I have had 5 surgeries, to include a rotator cuff surgery. I've had a PICC line in my chest. I've thrown up every single day for a year, multiple times a day. So I've had a lot of problems with my body weight. So it hasn't been until recently that I actually started stabilizing it, and that is through the Velocity diet as well as just getting over some of this medical stuff. So basically today what I want to talk about, I want to do a little bit of check-in with you guys as far as a weigh-in is concerned, and then I'm going to go into what I actually eat for breakfast, because I want to do a couple videos talking about food prep, how I do my lunches, how I do my dinners, all of that. But the one that I don't really need to prep that much is the breakfast, and it is probably my favorite meal and biggest meal of the day. So I want to share that with you guys to give you guys an idea of what I'm getting into my body each and every morning. Now, just give you guys a little bit of an idea of what kind of roller coaster this has actually been. About a year ago, last summer, I competed in quite a few local strongman competitions, some bigger competitions, things like that. But at that time, I was weighing in for those competitions at 273 pounds. Now, 273 pounds is the heaviest I've ever been in my life. That was a little bit more fluffy than I normally like to be. I definitely had a little bit of strongman girth, kind of fat. But I was definitely strong. Now, fast forward to my second emergency surgery after everything was going on during those past 6 months. And in the hospital, I weighed in at 218 pounds. I had lost a substantial amount of muscle mass, and I definitely picked up a good bit of body fat just from being sedentary. I wasn't able to do things that I wanted to do, that I'm able to do, that I love to do. And then directly after this, because at that time in the hospital, I got a PICC line put into my chest. So after that, I went into 6 weeks of pretty much house arrest, where I literally wasn't allowed to leave my house because of infection worry because of the PICC line. So it has been quite an interesting thing to go from 273 down to 218. So what we're going to do right now is do another weigh-in. I've been on the Velocity diet for, I guess, about a month and a half now. Been lifting pretty seriously, trying to get back after it. Past my rehab, I get cleared by the doctor in 7 days to lift weights. So right now, let's go to this weigh-in and see where I'm actually at. All right, guys, May 15th. Body analyzer scale, I'm gonna set this thing up. It says I am 6 foot tall, I am person number 1, 37 years old, I am a male, and I like to think of myself as an athlete. So it's gonna give us a bunch of readings here in a second, but I'm gonna stop talking because it will not, I can't stay still enough. There we go. All right, now it's starting to read. So 245.0. Now looking at this says that I am 27% body fat, 54.7% water, 36.1 muscle mass, and 9.2 pounds of bone. But in interest of full disclosure, people, this video is sponsored and brought to you by the Digital Body Analyzer Scale, which is the same scale that you guys see me weighing in every single time that I do one of these checkup videos, these weigh-in videos, whatever they are. A lot of fitness personalities from Alan Thrall, a lot of us use this thing just because it is a good product. It looks really cool. You guys got to admit, the glass and the streamline is very flat. Also, it gives you a bunch of other things that you normally wouldn't get, like your body fat, your bone mass density, your hydration levels, things like that. Now, this does use bioimpedance to measure that. Now, I know a lot of you who are involved in the fitness industry know about bioimpedance and the problems and challenges with it, just like there are with every single body fat analyzing type of thing. However, I will say, at least you have something to measure. So at least you're getting some data every single time that you weigh yourself in. You get to change that body fat number. As you guys saw, my body fat is about 27% according to the scale, and I would say that's pretty accurate. I would say virtually everyone underestimates their body fat level, like a lot. Now maybe I am, or maybe I'm not 27% body fat. I don't really care. What I do care about is getting that number, because then I'm able to use that number, track it as I go along, as I change my diet. It's just another piece of data that I'm able to kind of manipulate and use to my benefit. It's just a tool, people. I actually like the scale a lot, so if you guys do want to pick one up, check out the description down below or check them out online. It is a quality product, guys. A bunch of us online use it. A bunch of your favorite YouTubers use it. So if you guys are interested in the scale, if you're in the market for it, then you definitely want to pick that up. And thank you guys so much for helping me out with this video. And now on to what I think just about everyone was waiting for. You guys want to know what I eat. Now, as I briefly mentioned earlier, I have thrown up every single day, multiple times a day for about a year now. So what I have and have not been able to eat over the course of the last year is very, very interesting. I would say most days I get one meal in over the past year. Most days I've gotten one meal in. And a lot of times I didn't even get one meal in. Sometimes I just literally wouldn't eat for a day or 2 days or 3 days. just because the vomiting was so terrible and my nausea was so bad that I just couldn't hold anything down, or you're so nauseous that you just don't feel like putting anything in your mouth, to be completely honest. And every single time you stick a dried chicken breast or some tuna fish or whatever the case may be that is a normal bodybuilding, powerlifting, strongman type of food, that's not staying in there very long. Kind of projectile-ish. So with that in mind, I was fortunate enough this year to go to the Arnold with Brian Shaw to help him out, just be part of his team and kind of hang out with him. And at that time, I ran into Stan Efferding, who is a friend of Brian's. He does Brian's Nutrition, Thor's Nutrition, Mark Bell's Nutrition. So all those guys are friends of mine, so I kind of had an in right there. And Stan actually helped me out with a diet. So I jumped on the vertical diet. I've been following that for a while now. I can't say how well it's worked or how well it hasn't worked because I haven't given it long enough time yet. I will say, as far as performance goes, it's the best diet I've ever done. I will say as far as body comp, I'm not sure yet because I haven't really been running it exactly how I've been supposed to. Currently right now, I can get 3 meals in a day. That's all I can really hold down. However, they are bigger meals. So like I said earlier, my favorite meal and biggest meal of the day is breakfast. So I want to just go over real fast what I do for breakfast every single morning. Now, breakfast is kind of a loose term for me because sometimes this happens at 6 o'clock in the morning. I typically wake up in the 5 o'clock hour, somewhere around there. So sometimes breakfast happens at 6 o'clock in the morning. However, most of the time pretty nauseous, so it has to wait until later. Sometimes that happens at 10. Sometimes it happens at noon. Sometimes it happens at 3. Sometimes it's the only meal I get that day. But anyway, this is one meal that I would say that I get virtually every single day. So all that you're going to need a big bowl because it is a big meal, and a big meal requires a big bowl. Now, if you guys know absolutely nothing about the vertical diet, you're going to be eating a lot of white rice, so I highly recommend a rice cooker. It is the best thing that I ever did before getting on this diet. Anyway, you're going to take some of that rice and you're going to throw it in this bowl. Now, the exact amounts I don't really pay attention to, people, because I have a lot of really cool things that go on in my life, and none of those include figuring out how many numbers I stick in my mouth a day, whether it be macros or calories or whatever. I don't care. I am a grown man who doesn't care about the calories in my toothpaste, so I'm just gonna move on. Guys, I probably stick 2 to 3 scoops of rice in this thing, and then I throw in a bunch of iodized salt. The iodized salt does a couple things. Number one, raise your iodine, which almost everyone is deficient in, and the salt does a lot of things about the hydration levels and your electrolyte levels, but I'm not going to get into that because Stan Efferding is a genius in this stuff, and I don't want to mess it up. Anyway, after that, I add some cheese on top of the rice, which is always excellent. I know a lot of people do not like they think cheese is bad, but I love cheese, so I'm going to go with that. And then also avocados. Now, it's important at this stage to add half of the avocado to your egg mixture at this point because it just makes it easier to mix up later. So I salt the middle of the rice, I add some cheese, and I add some avocado as kind of the first layer. After that, we need to get on these eggs. Now, all my eggs I cook in a ton of grass-fed butter because grass-fed butter is awesome, it tastes great, and it is healthy for you. So, bunch of grass-fed butter, and then I like to eat about 5 to 6 eggs depending on how hungry I am, depending on, honestly, how nauseous I am and how much food I think I can force down. I crack open those 6 eggs, and then I add a bunch of salt and a bunch of pepper and just let those cook for a while. Now, while those are cooking, I typically go back over and work with the avocado. Some of the time, I will add some breakfast meat to this, whether it be some bacon or some sausage or some old steak, leftover, whatever it might be. But sometimes I will add some meat to this bowl, but on this day I did not. But once your little eggies have cooked for a while, then you're gonna flip them over, and I like to add cheese to them. Now, I like to keep my eggs a little bit runny because all the rice, anytime that you're eating this amount of food, if it has some liquid, moisture, the yolk definitely makes it easier to eat. But once all your eggs are cooked, you're gonna add it to that nice big mixing bowl of rice and salt and cheese and avocado. Now, it's very important that you need to flip those eggs over so that the yolks break and it runs down in the rice. At least that's what I do. But you guys can do whatever you want. If you guys like scrambled eggs, you guys want to add some vegetables like some spinach or some rice, not rice isn't a vegetable, some spinach or some peppers or some onions, whatever you want to do to add to your eggs, you go ahead and do that. Now, if you're anything like me, you like ketchup on your eggs. Now, I know a lot of you just got really grossed out, which really doesn't make sense to me. But yes, I do stick ketchup on my eggs. So once I have all of that in the bowl, I literally mix it all up so it's kind of like a mash, which makes it easier for me to stomach and get down. So now you have an awesome egg, avocado, cheesy rice, yolk kind of awesomeness thing to do. Now, how many calories it is, I don't know. I'm probably guessing somewhere between 2,000, 3,000 calories for this one meal. But again, I don't spend time with that, guys. So if you guys do want to try out a variation of it, that is what I do every single morning or lunchtime or night, but I get that meal in at least once a day. It is by far my favorite meal of the day, and I just want to share it with you guys. I will be trying to do more food prep kind of stuff, show you guys more of my diet, some of the other foods I eat, some recipes, some things like that. But that'll be coming up in time. Let me know down in the comment section if you guys like learning about my diet and what I'm eating and all those types of things. But guys, I do really appreciate you sitting with me for this video. I thank the Digital Body Analyzer Scale for helping me out with this video. I will catch up with you guys later in the week, but until I do, go out and do something amazing in your lives. Keep working hard, people. Be nice to each other, and I'll see you then.